Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Data Playbook. Today we have our Week 15 Sunday games, and unfortunately I didn't get all the changes that I wanted to in for today, but we'll just stick with our regular data, so let's get right to it. The next game to cover is an AFC Divisional West game, with the Chargers going to Kansas City, where Kansas City is favored on the money line, with a spread of 6 points and a total line of 41.5. There's your team's seasonal averages if you need them. You have the Chargers with a little bit above average offense, with a scoring rate of 18, a passing rate of 12, a rushing rate of 9, and a tight end rate of 16. Defensively, it's even just a little better, with an allowed scoring rate of 10, allowed passing rate of 3, allowed rushing rate of 14, and allowed tight end rate of 6. For Kansas City, you have about a similar story, with a little bit above average offense, with a scoring rate of 11, a passing rate of 4, a rushing rate of 16, and a tight end rate of 5. And similar story with their defense, with an allowed scoring rate of 7, allowed passing rate of 10, allowed rushing rate of 8, and allowed tight end rate of 11. And then getting into the quarterbacks, you have Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, with Herbert averaging 17.8 fantasy points per game, and Mahomes averaging just under 21. There's your players' seasonal averages. And looking at the turnovers, you have Herbert with 11 passing interceptions, 1 fumble lost due to a sack, and 1 rushing fumble. Versus over here with Mahomes, where he only has just 10 passing interceptions this season. Moving to their charts and their share of rushing, you get Justin Herbert at 20.4% of the rushing carry share and 26.8% of the rushing yard share. And you also have Mahomes at 19.1% of the rushing carry share and 28.6% of the rushing yard share. Next up, you have your running backs with Omarion Hampton and Kareem Hunt. Hampton averaging 15.3 fantasy points per game when he's in, and Kareem Hunt averaging 10. There's your seasonal averages. And looking at the turnovers, you don't have any from Hampton this season, but you have 1 rushing fumble from Hunt. Moving to their share, you have Hampton with a smaller amount than you'd expect, at about 25% for both, a little less, 24.1% and 23.6% for the rushing yards. And that's so much smaller because you had Vidal filling in while he was out. So Vidal actually owns this largest portion. I'm sure that you'll see Hampton increase more as he's utilized more in the game and as he returns. But that's why this ends up looking like this. And over here you have Kareem Hunt at 43.8% of the rushing carry share and 38.3% of the rushing yard share. And of course, we know another large portion of that goes to Isaiah Pacheco. And since they're almost becoming like Detroit, where they use both of them quite a bit, I'm just going to throw Pacheco up real fast and look at how he gets about 6.8 fantasy points per game, has had no turnovers. There's his seasonal averages and everything. And we can see that he's this other portion at 27.8% of the rushing carry share and 26.4% of the rushing yard share. Moving into your receivers, you have Ladd McConkey and Rashid Rice. McConkey averaging 12.2 fantasy points per game, and Rashid Rice averaging 19.7. I'll flip over for their averages, and since they have no turnovers, we'll go straight to the charts. So go ahead and give a pause if you want to look through this information in more detail. But otherwise, we have Ladd McConkey at 24.7% of the target share and 24.2% of the receiving yard share, and that is the largest of anybody else on the team. With Rashid Rice, you're at 15.3% of the target share and 15.4% of the receiving yard share, which doesn't quite give him the largest amount, but he's been out so much that he's slowly growing this back. Next up, we have Quentin Johnson and Xavier Worthy, with Johnson averaging 12.4 fantasy points per game and Worthy averaging 8.9. As always, switching over their averages, and the only turnovers between the two of them comes from Quentin Johnson with 1 receiving fumble. And then if we look at their share, you have Quentin Johnson at 18.4% of the target share and 18.6% of the receiving yard share. That doesn't quite make him the second largest on the team. That's actually Keenan Allen, I think. But then with Xavier Worthy, you get 14.3% of the target share and 13.5% of the receiving yard share. Finally, we have our tight ends with Rondé Gadskin and Travis Kelce, where you have Gadskin averaging 9.4 fantasy points per game and Travis Kelce averaging 12.7. Moving over for their seasonal averages, and the only turnover between the two of them comes from Gadskin with 1 receiving fumble. And looking at their share, you have Gadskin with 14.3% of the target share and 18.9% of the receiving yard share. And you have Kelce with 18.9% of the target share and 21.5% of the receiving yard share. So there's all your information for this divisional game. It is interesting looking at the rankings stacked up right next to each other. They're all almost within like 1 or 2 ranks of each other. So for example, you have the tight end rank of 5 here for Kansas City, and the allowed tight end rank of 6 here for the Chargers. You have rushing rank of 9 here for the Chargers, but an allowed rushing rank of 8 here for Kansas City, a rushing rank of 16 versus an allowed rushing rank of 14, allowed passing rank of 3 against a passing rank of 4, and then a passing rank of 12 against an allowed passing rank of 10. So they're all very close to each other. I think the biggest difference here is this scoring rank of 18 against an allowed scoring rank of 7 versus the scoring rank of 11 here for Kansas City against this allowed scoring rank of 10. So they do fall a little shorter there. So the Chargers are really going to have to figure out how to score. And if they can do that, I think that they actually might beat Kansas City, especially if they can shut down Kelsey. But these scoring ranks right here are the ones that favor Kansas City over everything else. So with that, I would just give the edge to Kansas City, especially being at home. But it could still be a very good game, especially with the Chargers who may feel they need a win. And there's all your pregame data. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment on what else you'd want to see in the future. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.